She's the woman of 1,000 voices. Anna Brisbin, a.k.a. Brizzy Voices, has garnered over 2 million followers on a YouTube channel, and she's also heard in the newly released video game, Bayonetta 3. We are so excited to welcome Anna to the show today. Welcome to Alicyn's Wonderland.
You're watching Alicyn's Wonderland, inside the world of animation and games.
It's so good to see you.
So good to see you.
I am going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind.
What?
It has been 2 years since you were on the show last.
Whoa.
I know,
Those
right?
years didn't count. I don't understand.
Right. 2 pandemic years, which is like
Yeah.
2 months in real world time.
Yeah. Everything 5 years ago feels like it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Now, how have your past 2 years been? Like, I mean, that's so much going on.
Yeah. Really good. I've been focusing less on YouTube, focusing more on Twitch and voiceover things. A lot of video games on all fronts.
Yeah, you're playing a lot of games too.
Yeah. Playing
That's
so
fun.
many games.
That's fun. I want to come over and play video games with you.
Okay.
Nobody plays video games with me.
Do you like video games? Do you
I
have games
do.
you like?
I do, and I just am not in the habit of playing anymore.
Yeah.
It depends on the game, though. I definitely tend
What kind
toward-
of games?
Oh, fun ones.
Okay.
Colorful fun, that kind of thing.
Cozy kind?
Puzzle. Oh, cozy,
Yeah,
cute for sure, cozy for sure. But, I kind of want to just try everything because I watch a lot of gameplay on YouTube and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. I want to actually be pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
But also hanging out at the same time because
Yeah.
then it's like a social activity.
I was mostly just like Nintendo and cozy games and some PC games, more like multiplayer stuff. And past couple of years, I've tried to really zone in on the like big story games with like all the mocap and the cool. They're like AAA huge story games with just such cool gameplay that I just had no idea. I was never a PlayStation person or an Xbox person, so I never really played those games.
Yeah.
But I've finally gotten to get into them, and one, it's good research. Two, it's just they're so good. The storytelling
Mind-blowing.
has gotten so good over the past few years.
Yeah, and you are in the new Bayonetta 3. That's so exciting.
Yeah. Speaking of ridiculous stories.
Yeah.
It's wild.
How did that come about?
I just auditioned.
Oh, that's not the ridiculous
just
story.
one
There's other ridiculous.
No,
the
the story of the game itself, the plot, is
see.
bonkers because it's all multiverse, and Bayonetta is just over the top and wonderful.
Amazing. How long did you work on the game before it came out?
I think it was 4 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were split by like 2 or 3 months between them.
So about a year or so.
Well, 2 and then 2. So
Got it.
and then a few months in between.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's it like then now playing a game that you're like, hey, I'm like this major supporting character?
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest role in a game I've ever had. Really cool. She's like the other playable character in the game. She's, I guess, secondary protagonist, if you will, and just kind of mind-boggling. Not a world I was familiar with before Bayonetta. I played a bit of the second one and like watched all the like lore videos and cutscenes and stuff in preparation when I found out what it was. Now that I'm into it, I'm like, oh yes. I didn't think it was my kind of game because it's very like hack and slash, just like button mashing and combos. And I'm like, I'm not pro gamer enough for this. But then I played it. I played through all of Bayonetta 3, and now I'm like, oh, I understand why people like this.
I've learned new things with my thumbs.
Yeah, I'm learning things. Yeah, listening to myself, and that is a little weird, but not super weird. Because like I've been doing YouTube and voiceovers for so long, I'm very used to listening to myself and editing myself and critiquing myself.
Yeah.
It's mostly just fun. I'm like, okay, this is final product with a bunch of other people's stuff on it, so
What's your character's voice sound like? Is she in your...
she's like me, but a little younger and like edgy, I guess. She's more punky. Yeah, just somewhere around here, and she's really clumsy and trying to be cool, but very much not cool, just awkward.
And is it Viola?
Viola.
Viola.
Yeah.
Amazing. Viola.
Which is not what I would have thought. When we were recording, the director, Chris Zimmerman, Salter, and I were like, is it Viola or Viola? And the Japanese team said it was Viola. And we're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's the instrument. Because we're thinking like Viola Davis and stuff. Like, that's the name, right? And they're like, no, Viola. We're like, okay, you say so.
That's so fun.
Viola.
Viola. How was it working with Chris?
So nice, so lovely. She's wonderful. Since then, I've gotten to her. She does this yearly now horse race fundraiser for retired racehorses for Win Place Home. Gala? What's the word? Cabaret. That's the word. Less fancy than a gala. No gowns. It is at a barn. Very sandy.
More boots than heels.
More boots. Yeah. But a lot of voice actors and people in that world come to like perform, and like Julie Nathanson comes and like sings opera, and someone comes and does comedy, and it's just a fun time. That's a voicey people and friends raising money for horses.
That's amazing. Did you perform?
I did this last time. Yeah.
What did
a little terrifying. I did Alphabet Aerobics, a song by Black Alicious that I've done a couple times on my channel. So it's a rap where each verse is alliteration starting with A, B, C, D, down to Z. So I pick a cartoon character starting with that letter for each letter and go through it.
So that's what you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've done it twice on YouTube with different sets of characters, and this time I did it with like a mix between the two. I like picked my favorites from each and like did that version. I'm not used to performing it live though, so that was a little terrifying, but I did it and it was fine. People were very nice about it, so it was okay.
Sometimes you just gotta do it, you know?
I know.
The only way to like practice performing live is to actually like do it in front of people, which is terrifying.
Yeah. Especially anything music live. No, I can't.
Because you get in front of people and like suddenly you can't breathe, which is very important. Yes,
so important.
Rapping.
Especially rapping. It's so fast. There's so many words.
Wow, that's so cool. So now I know that you're doing more Twitch these days, although still active on YouTube. You're playing a lot of games and kind of, are you finding that you just enjoy that more, or why the subtle shift?
I think it started, I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years now, but very inconsistently. And then over the
8 years on Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't know
very
Twitch was 8
on
years
and
old.
off. Yeah. But then pandemic, I live alone, and it was a very good way to like keep interacting with people. It feels less isolating than YouTube. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years straight, so running out of ideas. And Twitch, I just get to be and just play games and talk to people. So it feels like a lot less pressure.
It's just like hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, and just through a pandemic, that's much more appealing.
So with Twitch then, you're building, so you have like do you have like a regular gig or time that you...
I should, but I don't.
Yeah, it's just whenever you want.
I can't. My schedule's so unpredictable that I feel like if I made a schedule, I'd just constantly be breaking it. So I just feel like I shouldn't.
And do you try to go live X amount of times per week, or?
I don't hold myself to it. It's really just anytime I have the free time and the energy, I do it. But right now God of War is out, so I've been playing it any free moment I have. So it's been almost every day for a week. But typically, maybe 3 times a week right now would be my guess. Anywhere between 3 hours to 11 hours a day.
Amazing.
Depending on the game and how much it's sucked me in.
That's great.
Bayonetta and God of War both resulted in multiple accidental 11-hour plus streams.
Whoopsie. Is that like a super late night for you, or is that like...
Well, those are the days that I start early. Yeah. Normally I start around like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. and just go for a few hours. But if I start early, noon or earlier, I'm like in danger of doing an accidental very long stream and like ending at the normal end time.
Yeah. You have to get like alerts or something. Beep, beep. It has been 8 hours. Turn off the TV.
But it's like, I don't have plans tonight. Why would I stop?
It's kind of your job. I mean, it's basically your job.
Yeah.
So did you have any funny experiences that happened when you were working on Bayonetta 3?
Funny experiences. I don't know, not really. There's one part where Viola is making fun of Bayonetta and she mocks her. And she's like, man, I'm so glad Bayonetta wasn't here to see this. You've only got 9 lives, kitty. And I just, I had been watching all the Bayonetta games, so I had her voice in my head, so I just did it. But Viola's version, not like a proper impression. And that was just first take. She's like, that's it. We're taking that. Perfect. Okay.
Well, don't forget, you are a professional impersonator, and Viola probably is not.
No, she's not. So it wasn't perfect. It's fine that they wouldn't let me do any more takes.
Yeah, and so now that you're kind of shifting your focus a little bit, and you've been doing more voice acting in addition to all your content that you create, I'm just curious, do you find that it's getting harder to make videos since you've been doing it so long?
Yeah.
Do you find, is there pressure, I guess I should say, that because so many of your videos have gone viral, do you feel pressure, like if I put something out that is different or doesn't fit that mold?
There's definitely pressure to keep it at least somehow related to a TV show, a video game, something that most people subscribed attached to something like that, and keep it voicey, impressions-y in some way. I have had moments where I've stepped out of that, whether it's I sort of veered into makeup tutorials and stuff, but I bridged the gap by narrating it in an impression of a character or something. There have been a couple times where I just narrated it as myself. I don't think those went as well. So
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, so there's definitely still a lot of pressure to keep it voices and impression-y.
Do you ever feel pigeonholed?
Keep it fresh is hard, because I feel like I've done every show that I love already for impressions. So I am still constantly digging for what else can I do?
Yeah.
That's the main struggle right now, I think.
And do you have a content schedule? What's your average day look like?
I did. I had once a week, once every Saturday was my goal before. It is, and then...
Not like TikTok now.
Yeah, and then the pandemic happened and I just lost motivation to keep up that schedule, and now it's just... I'm not putting all that pressure on myself to be perfect about the schedule and just be like, if this hurts me and the algorithm, it's inevitable and it's fine.
You can't live your life by the algorithm.
You can't.
The algorithm.
No, it's not like, I don't want to be Mr. Beast anyway. What am I trying to be? The most subscribed YouTuber on the planet? No. I want to be a voice actor. So I'm just trying to keep telling myself it's okay to not have the perfect schedule and just don't just upload something to upload something and only do it when I have something that I'm excited to make.
And you've made a conscious choice not to be on TikTok, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and at this point I feel like it's been so long that I'm well.
It'll be gone by the time I get it up and running.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. Is just when's it gonna fade? Please just fade.
TikTok.
I feel like if I was gonna do it, I should have done it in 2020. But I feel like that ship sailed. I know it would do well, but I just...
It's one more thing on your plate.
It's another thing, and I would never upload to YouTube again if I started TikTok because I'd be so focused on that. You need to upload constantly on TikTok.
Short form video content.
And I don't think my brain works in short form. I feel like if it's a video, it needs to be good and high effort and YouTube worthy, essentially. But that's not how you need to think when it comes to TikTok or Instagram Reels. And
Tessa does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Good friend of yours does an amazing job.
Yeah, and Shelby Young.
Shelby, of course. Yeah. But
they're brilliant.
Sometimes there's a lot of work that goes behind that, or just a lot of awareness of it, which sometimes I feel like I'm not present when I'm constantly thinking oh, I should shoot this, or this would be a good thing, or now I have to shoot this. So I have certainly far less content coming.
Yeah, just with TikTok, it's you just have to know that one little thing that's 10 seconds can be enough. Yeah. And I cannot put my brain there and tell myself that that's enough. So I feel like I would struggle.
And I mean, doesn't it behoove everybody to have a few platforms they focus on?
Yeah.
So you've got Twitch and
great
YouTube.
idea.
Do you have a Patreon or anything like that?
I have Fan House.
Okay.
Which it feels like less pressure than Patreon because it's not like, here are the clear rewards that you will get per tier. It's just like, this is a place where I'm gonna just vomit daily background content. If you want it, you can pay $5 a month for it. You don't have to. I don't promise anything special. It's just gonna be like pictures of my dog and like photos that I don't put on Instagram and random thoughts and things and early content before it goes elsewhere. But it's much more low-key, I feel like, than Patreon.
It sounds like a nice relationship because, you know, as you grow and as you develop more fans and followers, and then suddenly if everybody wants a little piece of your time, then suddenly there's no more time for you. There's no more time for Anna. How do you find the balance?
I don't know.
Or do you? Or do you
Maybe animals help. Animals and friends. I feel like help pull me away from career, internet, followers, voiceover, growth in any way. It's just, my dog, Remus, foster dogs in the past, and just social time with friends to help me feel present and connected to something other than progress and success.
Yeah, isn't it funny? And success is just this moving target, too, that we instantly, once we're at our marker, we've immediately put the carrot further down the line.
So there's always someone else to compare you to. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for viewers that might be having issues with that?
Like comparison
Yeah.
stuff? I think just compare yourself to yourself like 10 years ago. And just notice how far you have come. Even if it's not as far as you hoped you might have been by now, like, odds are you've still moved forward in some way. And that's, progress is progress.
Yeah. Where we are today was who we dreamed of 5 years ago. Yeah. By the way, would you like some more tea? Just let me know if you
Okay, I'm halfway. We're good
You're
right
halfway.
now.
I'm just like chugging. It's herbal, guys, okay? Give me a break. So last time you came on the show, you said Dahlia was your favorite character you've ever voiced.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what we talked about then.
Well, it was on Instagram Live, so it was definitely a different setup. But who now? Who takes the cake?
Now it's Viola.
Viola, for sure.
Now it's Viola. She's the character I've spent the most time with, by far.
Have you had a lot of people resonate with the character? A lot of fans reach out to you?
Resonate is an interesting question. I've definitely had a lot of people say, what they have said is they recognize her as like their teenage selves. They're like, this is who I was as a teenager who went to Hot Topic and was trying so hard to be cool, sort of thing. Not so much, this is who I am and I resonate with this, but I've gotten a lot of, that was absolutely me before, sort of thing, which is fascinating.
Wow. Yeah, you tapped into that.
Yeah.
Did you feel like she was an easy fit for you when you auditioned for the role?
Yeah, I do feel comfy falling into like a punky badass chick sort of thing. But then she's also got this clumsy, awkward side that is fun. I think the trailers were misleading because you only really saw her being punky and trying to be cool and like, oh, we got to save the world. And people are like, oh, she's a little try-hard, little cringe. But then when you play the game, like, that's the point. And like, she's so goofy and clumsy and awkward and not as cool as she's trying to be. And that's a lot more endearing than what we thought of her before, which has been fascinating. I've had a lot of people be like, I've never had such a 180 on a character from trailer versus game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you got that from the audition sides? For those that might not be familiar with audition sides, usually in video games, we don't always get the other person's lines. So they're just sort of individual lines with maybe an emotion attached to it and usually not too much description.
There were no other character lines in it. I think, it was just like, here's the context, like, you just killed this, you were just fighting this monster and someone came in to help you and now you're like, I could have done that by myself, okay? Like, sort of that sort of thing. It wasn't so much like, she is punky and trying to be cool, but she's actually awkward. It was just like, you're trying to come off, I guess it did say you're trying to come off as in control when you don't really know what you're doing. Maybe it did say that. I can't remember what the actual breakdown said. I know it had the context of the situation and it had no other character lines.
And so do you feel like that character was similar to you when you were a teen?
No. I definitely shopped at Hot Topic, and I still shop at Hot Topic.
Me too.
But besides that, no. I was more nerd goody two-shoes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a
Not
fantasy.
so much trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more like you get to live out an alternate reality.
Isn't that what we're doing every day? Yeah.
It's like living 36 times as long because you get to spend all this time in somebody else's spirit.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
Yeah. That's the best.
Yeah.
And finding whatever part of that does live in you, even if it doesn't come out much.